Now let's take a look at building our first report. And I'm just going to step through this, and I just want to show you how easy it is to build these things. Don't worry about following me along step by step. We're going to do that later, but I just want to give you a general overview of just how fast these things can happen. So what I will do is Start, go to All Programs, SQL Server 2008, open the Business Intelligence Development Studio, and open a report project that I already have out there. And I just want to show you how easy this thing is to do. You'll notice that I've already dropped a report in, okay? And now I have already created a data source, because one of the things we have to do obviously is connect to a data source. And that's very easy, and you will see this step by step. But if I create a new data source, notice that I can just step through this and very easily connect out to various data sources and get exactly what I need. Then I can choose the databases that I want to pull from on those data sources. And I'm not going to actually finish this out because I've already done it. But it's very easy to create these data sources just like you see here on the data source. Then once I have the data source, then I'm simply going to right click on it and say add a data set. And at this point I'm just going to type in a query, and I just pasted that in for whatever data that I want to pull in to use in this report. There is also a query designer tool in here, and you'll notice I can click this. I can either edit it as text, or I can click this and I can do it graphically, just like the tool that you've seen in Access and in other versions of the Visual Studio tools and SQL Server. And so with this, and again, you Access people have seen this quite a bit, I can simply click on the columns that I want, execute it, look down here and say, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Notice this returned 542 rows of data. So I can build the query that I want visually. And then once I have that and I OK it, then it exposes the fields that I can use. Now here's where it gets cool. In my toolbox, I can just go grab a table item on here, position it over here, okay? Then go back to my report items and just begin to drag these particular pieces of data in here. City, there's state, and then let's say I want to put country, but there's no more places. There's a couple of things I can do. I can click at the top, and this is kind of Excel-like, and I can say insert a column to the right, okay? Or an easier way to do that is to grab country and drag it, and notice when that little blue I-beam pops up, just let it go and it puts it there. Okay, pretty cool, right? Now, if I don't like the headers that it puts on there for me, and it's basing it on the name, I can just put whatever I'd like. Okay, now if I click Preview, you'll notice that it builds my report and shows me roughly what it's going to look like. You'll notice this output box popped up and told me that my build was complete, and there's my data. Well, it's kind of quick and dirty and kind of ugly, and it needs a lot of formatting. But that's just how easy it is. Now notice this is all wrapping and it looks funky. So all we have to do now is go back, grab this just like Excel, make that wider, go back and preview it, and you'll now notice that it is spread out and it's a little easier to see. Okay, well, okay, so now I'm like, well, you know what? This needs to look a little differently. So let's just grab this thing and let's turn on a toolbar. I'll turn on the formatting toolbar, and I can just click bold and bold those things. Then I can come over here for properties, and I will grab the background color. So you know what, let's put a nice gray on there. So now when we preview a report, notice we're starting to get some looks in here. Alright, pretty cool stuff, right? So it's basically drag and drop, and then there's a lot of little things that I can do inside here to work with the formatting and change it around And then let's say that I want to add a group to this, and I will just real quick like here right click and say add a group, and I'll do a parent group, and we will group by state and say OK. And then notice that I'm actually, well, we'll preview this first so you can see it. And here's all the Californias. Let me go back to the design, actually delete the California column out. And now when I preview it, you'll notice that it's showing me all of my Californias. And then if I scroll on down, here's all of my Colorados. Here's everybody in England. And you can kind of see how this is starting to lay out. So again, we're in a completely drag and drop environment, and we can preview our report very easily. Okay, and so creating reports becomes an issue of, first of all, identifying the data and querying it from the data source. And once we do that, we can actually see the column names over here in the report data tool, and we can just simply drag those onto our report. Okay, one more thing I want to show you, quick and easy. I'll drag an order quantity on. We'll preview that, and I can actually see my order quantities now. Okay, and now one other cool thing, you're going to love this. I choose order quantity, right click and say add total, and just that easily it added a total to that. And if I go all the way to the bottom of California, and let me get to the next page. California has a lot. Come on down. Let's get over to where we had England and some of those other folks. I think it was back a page there. Yes, notice on California we have a total here. And if we scroll down, you can see Colorado has that subtotal. We could come in here and do some formatting. So anyway, a lot of things you can do in here. Very quick. I did a lot of stuff there. I just want to get you an idea of where you're headed with this thing and the kind of power you have.